Now, the new company that I just started is called Karma Bliss, and it is a place for seekers. It's a place for self-discovery, for spiritual exploration, specifically targeted at all of my ladies and at young professionals, because at least from what I found, working in media for over a decade, the hustle and bustle, you are constantly striving, career grinding, growing, climbing up ladders, and sometimes focusing on yourself and on your spirit, it can be the bottom of the list. I kind of hit a point where I just knew I wanted more. I was checking things off my list. Okay, did this, did that, but you're still like, that didn't feel as good as I thought it would. What else? What else is there? And for me, that question kind of led me on a long journey all over the country, going on meditation retreats, learning how to meditate, first of all, having conversations with all different kinds of people, discovering my love for crystals, doing really, really beautiful things that I didn't even know how to attempt if you could, have asked me a couple years prior. So with Karma Bliss, I want to be able to tie people into that. I think the number one thing we all kind of say when we realize we want more is, but how do I start? For years I wanted to meditate, but I didn't know how, so I just never did. Because you think, well, how do I start? How do I begin? What's that? We can tell people all day, find your passion, find your purpose, girl, love yourself. Cool, but how? You have to have those tangible tools, those experiences that lead you to those deeper realms. And with Karma Bliss, I kind of wanted to demystify a lot of these larger concepts, and I also wanted to have a place where you could easily feel connected to the tools that you needed. Be it from our website, which gives great explanations of like meditation, journaling, vision boarding, crystals, to having a place where you can go and learn, hey, when's a meditation retreat happening? We're going to be having our own meditation retreats. How can I sign up for that? Being connected to a community of people that are looking for the same things as you. So with Karma Bliss, that was my biggest goal. That's what we're doing. We're centered around meditation, journaling, vision boarding, and crystal healing. Those were 4 elements that I found to be just the most impactful as I started and lived on my spiritual path and journey. And I wanted to share what I've learned about those things with everybody and introduce them. Maybe 7 or 8 years ago, I kind of started taking moments for myself. It became my ritual to do it on my birthday. I know a lot of people do their goal setting in the new year, but for a lot of us, when we're working, the new year, you're halfway through your year when January comes. It's not like the new year. You're halfway through whatever your calendar year looks like. And for me, my birthday is like my genuine new year. It's the new year for me that I'm in this world. So I always use that as kind of the marker. And every year I will just sit and I'll take moments, sometimes a couple of hours. It depends what I got going on. But I'll take moments to really sit with myself and listen to my heart and think about the better versions of myself that I want to become and what I want for my future. And I write those things down. I collect pictures and images. Sometimes I use magazine cutouts. Sometimes I tack things on, like, a plane ticket to manifest more travel like that in my future. And I kind of put it all together, and then I put it up, and I kind of commit myself to that vision. But I also leave room for interpretation, because I keep adding to it throughout the year. If there's extra stuff that I find that I'm like, this identifies what I'm looking to do, I grab it and I tack it on. And at the end of every year of my new year, I take everything off the vision board and I go through piece by piece and I say, is this still serving to what I want in my life? If it is, I put it back. If it isn't, I take it off. If I've accomplished it, I kind of save it in a box. And I have this box of like all the little vision board clippings that actually manifested for me. So, I think it's really important, especially with vision boarding, to always reassess, is this still part of my vision? Did this happen? Can I take a moment to be grateful for the fact that actually came to fruition? When I was working at my first radio station that I got my start at, 93.5 KD in LA, shout out to all my folks there, I had kind of written down on one of my bullet pointed itemized goal sheets that I wanted to work at SiriusXM and I wanted to be on TV. And at that point, I was really young and there was no real reason for me to imagine that either of those things would happen in the near future. Especially, I had just kind of started getting in my groove at the station and I was pretty young. And I looked back at that piece of paper, maybe it wasn't 2 years, maybe 20 months later, not even that, maybe like 18 months later, a year and a half later. And I had got hired to work at SiriusXM in New York, and I had got hired to work for MTV on this new ensemble show they were doing. And I was like, oh shit. So that was one of that was a really big benchmarker for me, just in my faith in the universe, in my faith in my own talent, in my faith in respecting and honoring my vision. If you're given a dream, God always gives you the capacity to fill it. So it would not have come on my head if those weren't things that I could really do. And that's when it really kind of clicked for me. Like, oh, I'm not just thinking a bunch of stuff. I'm not just comparing and saying, I wish I could have that. I'm being really, truly open and honest with myself and committed to expressing my vision with this vision board. And when God puts it on your heart, you have the capacity to fill it. You just got to keep working. And so that was a really big, encouraging lesson for me. And I thought it was super powerful at the time. Well, journaling and vision boarding, two completely different things. Vision boarding is really the vision. It's really kind of the visualization of what you're going to have in the future. When you're journaling, for the most part, you can use it in a multitude of ways, but journaling is really understanding your past and your present to free you for the future. Journaling is not necessarily like goal writing or statement writing of commanding what you're hoping will happen. Journaling is more about delving in deep, having this safe space where you can be really, really honest with yourself and really open and kind of work through things that have been on your heart and mind. So I think they're super different. Now, I will say for vision boarding, I'm a big picture person, but I like to write stuff down because I like to get specific with my universe. So I'm writing down bullet point, sometimes itemized things that I want to see happen in my future, and then those notes I kind of fold up and then I tack onto my vision board just to kind of add that little extra juju. So I think both are really powerful instruments, but they're complements to each other. So you would do both of them to really kind of give yourself the best future possible. So 3 tips for vision boarding, and of course you guys can find a bunch of tips and really, really detailed and strategic vision boarding articles on karmabliss.com. But I would say off the top of my head, 3 vision boarding tips would be: number 1, get centered, get quiet. When you are trying to manifest, when you are trying to get in tune with who you are and plot a vision for your future, you need to be silent and you need to be away from any distractions. You need to meditate on it. You need to, and for anybody out there that's like, I don't know how to meditate. Well, think of it like this. Sit down in a room, commit, I'm going to spend 2 hours on working on my vision board. Sit in a room. I always like to light a candle. I get comfortable. I like to sit on the floor because it makes me feel grounded. I get comfortable and I get quiet and I close my eyes for a bit and I ask God, I ask the universe, work through me. I know the things that I want, but help me to achieve the things that you want for me, because sometimes those things are very different. They're led by different motivations. So I say, lead me right now in where you want me to be, because that's what I want to follow. And I kind of sit with that for a little while. And then I start writing and I start, grabbing different things, the first things that pop to mind from around my office or around my home, out of magazines. I start making my little bullet pointed lists of what I want to see happen for me. And you start putting them on the board. So get quiet, get still, get silent, get centered, 1. I would say 2, make your vision board all encompassing. Don't just have a vision for your career and not have a vision for your soul. because both are so incredibly important, the soul more so. So you can all day put these big dreams you have for who you want to be in the world, but what I've really found is when you set those type of goals and dreams for your inner self, all of that works out on its own. Like, that part gets done way faster than you can imagine, because when you're right and when you're connected and when you're in sync, life opens up for you. So I like to, when I do my vision boards, I do it in two folds. I have my personal side of my vision board and I have my professional side of my vision board. And I write those bullet points and those itemized kind of details for my future in a personal note card as well. So I may write down, like, you know, on my professional, Karma Bliss, huge hit, make $1 billion, you know, whatever, all this bunch of stuff. And then on my personal side, I may say, you know, commit yourself to making more time to connect with your friendships, being really busy, being work driven. Sometimes those really important, deeper connections you lose. So that for me is one of my goals for this year. So that went on my personal side. You know, if you, in your family, if you want to say commit to being a better mom, or commit to, you know, let the universe allow me opportunities to provide for my family better on a heart level, on an emotional level. How can I connect more, give me more opportunities to serve? That would go on your personal side. And then both of them go on your vision board. So do both as your vision boarding. And my third tip would be, don't hide your vision board. A lot of times when we're creating vision boards, especially if you're doing it on like construction paper, or if you're doing it on a cork board, you're like, I don't want everybody to see all this stuff, to see all my dreams. So you might put it in the back of your closet or put it behind something. You need to set that thing out so that you see it every day. There's no need for you to forget about it. Set it out, be proud of it. It's your life's art, you know, put it where you can always see it every day, whether that is maybe in your closet, in your bathroom, as you're getting ready for your day, right next to the front door. I set aside different prayers and affirmations that I put on the side of my front door. So every day before I open my door to head into the world, I take a moment and I read through them. It takes me a minute and a half, but that is like recommitting me to what my deepest goals are. Same thing with vision boarding, don't hide it. So 3 tips, pretty easy, right?